Hello and thank you for joining us on Newsweek, where we highlight some of the biggest stories that made the headlines recently. I am Jacinta Agochukwu. This week, BBC report says no evidence President Tinubu forged Chicago State University certificate as Obi holds press conference. Also this week, controversy trails appointment of lawyer Olukoyede as EFCC chair following the resignation of the suspended chairman, Abdulaziz Power. Later on the show, CBN lifts FX ban on rice, cement, toothpicks, 40 orders. All the details in a moment. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. And if you're just tuning in, it's Newsweek, where we highlight some of the biggest stories that made the headlines recently. Now, during the week, controversies began to trail President Bola Tinubu's appointment of Ola Olukoyede as chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Many in some quarters view his appointment as a violation of the law establishing the Anti-Corruption Agency. Olukoyede, although a former EFCC secretary and ex-chief of staff to the chairman of the commission, did not meet the requirements of Section 203 of the EFCC Act to be qualified for the appointment. According to those quarters, Olukoyede had no experience in any security or law enforcement agency until his first appointment at the EFCC in 2016. Where he was appointed to serve as the chief of staff to then acting chairman Ibrahim Magu. He was subsequently appointed as the secretary of the commission in 2018 and served in that capacity up to 2020, where he was suspended from office by then President Muhammad Buhari. He was suspended alongside Magu and some other officials of the commission. He and Magu were never recalled. I still have Nelson Ekujumi, a political analyst and human rights advocate, and as well I have Ibrahim Gaba. Let me come to you, Mr. Nelson. A lot of reactions have trailed this, and some believe that the president have erred in this appointment, Olukoyede's appointment. Where do you stand? Do you agree?
I disagree absolutely, because the law, the EFCC Act, is very clear. And that act stipulates that whoever will be the chairman will be either a serving or a retired security officer who has worked in the security agency or a law enforcement agency. And that candidate must be somebody with not less than 15 years, with 15 years work experience, as well as of the rank, not below the rank of an assistant commissioner of police. Mr. Olukoyede, that we are talking about, was the chief of staff to the chairman of EFCC between 2016 to 2018. And he became the secretary of EFCC between 2018 to 2020. And the EFCC Act is very clear that the position of the secretary and the chairman are permanent members, which means Mr. Olukoyede, by his role as the secretary of EFCC for 2 years, qualified as having been somebody who worked in a law enforcement agency, of which the EFCC is. Then, talking about 15 years experience, the law did not stipulate whether the 15 years experience should be in the security agency or not. Some persons have gone further to say, in explaining further, the law said cognate experience. And if we look at cognate experience, this is a man who has had 22 years post-bar experience with specialization in fraud and corruption management, intelligence, and what have you. So by that provisions of the law, Mr. Olukoyede is well within the purview of the law, has been eminently qualified to have been appointed. But people are free to question, to say, some persons have come up to say, oh, that experience should have been in the security agencies or in the law enforcement agency. But the law did not stipulate that. But even as at that, what we know clearly is what the law has written down. The confirmation of Mr. Olukoyede now is going to the Senate. Whoever has any other alternative view will expect them to avail the Senate that fact. And if they are still dissatisfied with the position of the Senate, which one expects them to confirm this nominee, the courts are there for anybody to ventilate, is a disagreement with that choice.
All right, Mr. Garba, I don't know what you think of this. In spite of all this, you know, what can you say about the person of Olukoyede? Do you think his experience is enough as EFCC chairman?
I think let us look at it this way. In the wisdom of Mr. President, appointing officers to, man key positions in different MDAs across the nation, it shows that he is a man that is out to succeed. If you want to succeed as a team lead, you must have people with requisite experience, people with cognate experience, people that have the capacity to deliver. But one thing I want to add, just like the first speaker mentioned, is the fact that Olukoyede is somebody who is vast in forensic, is a forensic expert, apart from being a lawyer. And for the first time again, we are seeing a lawyer taking charge of the EFCC. It's not about police this or police that. With due respect to the Nigerian police, the laws are there. But then we don't want to, we don't want to be involved in cases of abuse of office. We don't want to be involved in cases of where we go to court, we lose the battle at the end of the day. We need proper investigation in all corrupt cases. We all know how, people are involved in so many corrupt activities in the country today. Why are they scared? I think this is coming from the opposition because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is out to sanitize the system. We know what happened during the past administration whereby so many cases were lost because, one, they were nowhere managed. But this man is somebody that will direct the affairs of the commission to ensure that each time cases are being prosecuted, we will not witness failure, we will not witness a situation whereby people continue to loot the treasury. This alone casts fear in the minds of a lot of people. A lawyer, for the first time, managing the affairs of the commission. To me, I give this credit to Mr. President. At least let us have a paradigm shift and begin to think out solutions that will help us solve some of these problems facing the nation today. We need to move on. You should look at it this way. This man, Mr. President, has a vision to deliver this country. And every appointment he has made has gone through due process. There are a lot of people sat down to look at their qualifications. You don't just make pronouncement. At the end of the day, what we want to see is the nation must move forward because we have the right people in the right places. That's all for now.
All right. The Central Bank of Nigeria finally lifted the foreign exchange restrictions it placed on importers of 43 items 8 years ago. According to the Central Bank, this action will boost liquidity in the Nigerian foreign exchange market and intervene from time to time, stating that intervention will decrease as liquidity improves. Some of the now unrestricted items are rice, cement, vegetable oils, meat and processed meat products, margarine, poultry and processed poultry products, and others. As you have with me, Nelson and Mr. Garba. Let me come to you, Mr. Garba. What do you think about this whole ban lifting and all of that, or the...
Mr. Nelson.
I'm so sorry. I keep missing you. I'm so sorry. I apologize for that. But what does this mean for our economy? What does this mean for our economy?
Well, for now, one is a bit cautious because of the fact that one recognized that the reason why the 43 items were placed on the Forex prohibition list was because when the previous administration came into office, we had, debt of foreign reserves. We didn't have enough Forex. The excess crude account or the foreign reserve was at its lowest ebb. So it was meant to curb the demand for Forex. But looking at this scenario now, one is cautious because one knows very well that for the CBN to have arrived at this decision, it must have gone through a lot of, clearing hurdles. And what do I mean by this? One was thinking, if these items are on the prohibition list from accessing Forex at the I and E window, are we now saying that the CBN has enough liquidity in terms of Forex? If that is not the case, is it a case of because these items were placed on this Forex prohibition list, those other items, these other items, are giving room for those who could access this policy, are giving room for those who could access Forex through other means to hike the price. Is that one of the reasons why it is being lifted, to allow people to come into the window, and so for me, it's one that I've put on my thinking cap, and I've been trying to get answers.
You don't think the CBN are on the right path on this policy? No,
don't forget that the CBN is people by human beings.
Okay.
And these are people who are experts in that field. But in doing that, even as a layman, one is also an economist in his own home, because I run the economy of my house. I run my economy. That's why I've not been declared bankrupt. It means I'm an expert.
Very understandable.
So I've also put on my thinking cap, looking at it. So I want to give the CBN the benefit of doubt. That let's see, because one thing I know for sure is that one of the factors responsible for the pressure on the Naira is the liquidity issue with regards to Forex. And that is why the Naira continues to go down. So long as we are not producing, it's a tall order for the Naira to show up in value. But with this policy now, it could be that part of the reasons why this policy has been put in place was to check inflation. Don't forget, the price of these basic commodities has hit the rooftop. Maybe if this window is opened, there are people out there who want to bring in this product and be able to access, the Forex through the official market, and we'll get the value we want for our people.
Mr. Garba, let's also look at the impact this could have on Naira and as well local production. Some say the CBN might be encouraging unstrained importation. Where do you stand on this?
I think I disagree with that. What the CBN has done, to me, is the right step in the right direction. I want to take you back to 2015 when President Buhari came into power. We had issues with production. I'll use rice, for example. When he came into power, you can find out we have only about 6 rice mills in the country. But then when he decided that, okay, let us do something, or rather do a critical review by, banning some of these items and at the same time shutting down the borders. What happened afterwards? Between that time and now, you and I know that we have over 1,000 or more rice mills across the nation. But the challenge has been market forces. Why is it that despite the fact that we have these rice mills, the production, or rather the prices of these products continue to rise? It's a simple mathematics. Go to Kano, for instance. You'll find out that some of these marketers buy these products and hoard them, even right from the farm. They hoard these commodities in anticipation of, a price increase and all that. They don't sell them at a very expensive rate because, one, we do not allow competition. If you don't allow competition, there's no way you will attract investment in the economy. So when this new government come in and the decision by the CBN governor to lift the ban on some of these products, go to Katsina, go to all these areas in the north, see what is happening. Goods are coming into the country. And I can assure you, between the now and end of the year, you see commodity prices crashing because now you allow for fair competition. We have so many countries like Singapore and other nations, they intend to bring in these commodities into the country. For the fact that you buy this product, you store them in your warehouses, creating artificial scarcity, put pressure on the Naira and the economy. So mathematically, I think it is time for us to look at these issues, allow these products to come into the country, because we keep talking about Forex. But then what happens at the border? Why not allow people to bring in these products at their own rates? These are the determinants of the market forces. If you allow for these products to be coming into the country, other products, or rather companies that were not willing to trade, will begin to sell their products. So I think there's a need for flexibility. There's a need for us to, take proactive measures, because there's a lot of pressure on the economy. The poverty level is high. But take it or leave it, what the CBN has done within the next 2-3 weeks, you'll see the impact because you have opened up the economy for people to trade at their own, at their own time and rate.
But
so it's a very.
We don't have much time. I see you.
Yes,
you seem not to
I
understand.
think we must get one fact very clear. It was not that these items were banned. These items were prohibited from accessing Forex at the official market. That was the rule. And in this case, if this policy will allow for competition and drive down the prices of local, local variants of these products, then we'll wait to see.
All right, we have to go. I'm so sorry, we don't have time. And I just want to say thank you for your contributions. I've been speaking with Nelson Ekujumi, political analyst and a human rights advocate. And as well, I had Ibrahim Garba, journalist and media entrepreneur from Abuja. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And as well, thank you for being part of the show. Remember, you can follow the conversation on our social media platforms at TVC News NG, on our website at tvcnews.tv. I am Jacinta Agochukwu. Until next week, it's goodbye.